Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope all of you are well. My name is Ali Samek and we'll be having microelectronic design's first tutorial. We'll be covering 5 questions in this first tutorial and we will be starting ASAP. These questions will help you inshallah in preparing your midterm exam. So we'll start with the first question and I'll use the annotator alongside. So we'll be doing question number one. Number first is this that we consider a common source amplifier and the parameters provided are W over L equals to 4 over 0.2 micrometers, while the V over drive, that is VGS minus VTH, is 200 millivolts. The mu P Cox equals to 50 microamps per volt squares and mu Sox equals to 200 microamps. So we'll start in regard to that what will be the current flowing through M2. So we see the diagram, this is M2, this is M1 and this is M3. So we need to find out the drain current which flows through MOSFET number 2, which is a PMOS. So we will be using this equation, that is ID is equals to 1 by 2 mu and Sox W over L V over drive square. So that is what we have done over here. ID is equals to 1 by 2 mu P Sox W over L point 2 square, which comes out to be 20 microamps. Now come part B. Uh, so the part B is, I'll just remove the annotations. Uh, Next up, we have to find the R out in this case scenario. Um, so for the R out, we need to find out the small signal output resistance of the amplifier, and we will be finding that at this point V out. So from this point, as we see, if we can see the circuit, this is a simplified form of the circuit when we are viewing it at this point. So from this side, as you see, the simplified small signal circuit of M2 turned out to be 1 by GM2, that is a transconductance in parallel with R02. This is this part, which comes in parallel with the part which is downside. So MOSFET number M1, that is the NMOS, will be considered due to its common source applications as 1 plus GM1 over GM3 into R01, while the third MOSFET M3, which is the PMOS again, will be considered to be 1 over GM3 parallel with RO3. So this expression is visible in parallel. So one assumption which we take over here is that R02 and R01 and R03, basically R02 and 1 over, which parallel with 1 over GM2 is considered to be one component, that is 1 over GM2. RO2 is considered to be negligible. Same is the case with RO3. And GM1 is equals to GM3 as the properties of these are similar as mentioned earlier. So as GM1 and GM3 both are PMOSs, GM1 and GM3 will be cancelled out since all of these are equal, and we have calculated these here as well. And as we solve out the circuit, we get the expression which comes out to be 1 over GM2 in parallel with 2R0. So we get 1 over GM2 and we have calculated GM over here. So GM is equals to 2 over 2 ID over VGS minus VTH. So as the drain current is constant in all the MOSFETs, henceforth GM1 equals to GM2 equals to GM3, the parameters are similar. So we get a GM of 200 micro and 1 over 200 micro gets out to be 5 kilo ohms. So R out equals to 5 kilo ohms. And this is question number one. Moving forward to question number two, we have a similar circuit and we will be highlighting these parts. So as you see that the parameters are as follows. For W over L1 equals to 6 micrometers over 0.3 micrometers for MOSFET number one, and for MOSFET number two is 4 micrometers over 0.3 micrometers. And mu P Sox equals to 70 micro for this, and for mu n this is 270 microamps over V square. Lambda equals to 0.08, and the supply voltage that is being supplied at this point is 1.8. So the power consumption of the amplifier is to be found out. For that, we have two different MOSFETs and we'll be calculating the power individually. So for the one which is the NMOS, which is this one, we get the drain current, that is 1 by 2 mu and Sox components are provided to be uh, 270 microamps, and the value of W over L is 6 over 0.3. Micro sign is cancelled out, and then we get the overdrive voltage, which comes out to be 200 into 10 power minus 3, which is provided at the top of the question. We get a current of 1.08 into 10 power minus 4, and similar is the case for ID2, which we get for the PMOS. The parameters for PMOS are inputted, and we get the current, that is 1.86 into 10 power minus 8 amperes. Now the voltage which is being supplied to both the MOSFETs is basically Vin, that is 1.8 volts. Multiplying both of these together, we get a total power of around 5 into 10 power minus 4 volts if we plus both of these together. Moving forward to the part B and C, we move forward toward the small signal output resistance of the amplifier. So as you all know that R out at this point would be a parallel resistance of internal resistance of R01 and R02. That is what is written over here. Now we need to calculate R01 and R02, and the equation which is provided over here for R0 is equals to 1 over lambda ID. So we've calculated ID for both the NMOS and the PMOS, that is Q1 and Q2, and we have the value of lambda that is provided to be 0.08, and adding those values we get R01 and R02 for both of these. So that comes out to be 1 mega, and this comes out to be 6 mega ohms. Around that would be the values. So taking them into parallel in order to find out the R0, R out, we get a value of 98,736. That is around 9 1, 2, 3, 98 kilo ohms of resistance, that is the R out. Now we need to find GM1. As you all know that a small signal gain is represented by GM1 R out. So GM1 is calculated equals to 2ID over VGS minus VTH. Equation is known to everyone over here. So ID is 2 equals to into 1.08, as GM1 is the point which we need. Vn is being provided over here. So ID of MOSFET 1 will be considered, and that is 1.08 into 10 power minus 4, and VG and the V overdrive is 0.02. So that is also added over here, and we get a GM1 of 1.08 into 10 power minus 3. That comes over here, and AV is equals to 106.6. Moving forward to the question number 3, that is another system in which we have a circuitry with 4 MOSFETs, Q4, Q3, Q2, and Q1, and Q2 and Q1 are basically NMOSs, and Q3 and Q4 are PMOSs. So as you all know that the drain current in these 4 MOSFETs is constant, that is 100 microamps, and ID1 equals to ID2. As we all know that equation is 1 by 2 mu n SOX W by L V overdrive square. So we have a drain current provided in the parameters, that is 100 microamps, and we have to find the parameters of the MOSFETs, that is W by L of all transistors. That is a part. So for that we need to find W by L. We have been given the current, we have the mu and SOX, we have the W by L, and we have the V overdrive voltage, and we need to calculate W by L. So simply by putting in values, we get W by L for the NMOS Q1 and Q2, and that comes out to be 8. Now we repeat the process for the PMOSs Q3 and Q4, for which, as you all know, that mu and SOX equals to 4 times mu P SOX. That means that mu P SOX equals to mu and SOX divided by 4. So 100 divided by 4 comes out to be 25 microamps. We put in the parameters, V overdrive remains the same, ID remains the same, and W by L comes out to be 32. Nextly, once we have the value, we are done with part A. Next is we have to find the gain, the input, and the output resistances. So as you all know that as the drain current is constant and the V overdrive is constant, the GM would be constant as well. So GM equals to 2ID over VGS minus VTH. So GM1 equals to 2 into 100 microamps divided by V overdrive, that is 0.5. It comes out to be 4 into 10 power minus 4 ampere per volts. And now we need to find out R naught. And as we all know that R naught's value for each MOSFET is equals to the applied voltage and the drain current. That is the internal resistance for each MOSFET. So the applied voltage provided over here is 3.6 volts, and the drain current is 100 microamps. So we get the internal resistances for 4 MOSFETs, that is 36 kilo ohm each. Nextly, as we all know that it is a common source stage, so the input resistance would be infinite, and the formula or the equation for the gain would be equals to AV equals to minus 1 by 2 GM R naught whole square. And applying this, we get, as you all know that we have found R naught over here, we have the value of GM, we have minus 0.5, that is the 1 by 2, and we have we get the AV equals 2.5 into GM key value and R naught square, so that comes out to be minus 104. Nextly, we find the overall output resistance. We found the internal resistance, we have found the gain, we found the overall, now we find the overall resistance. Now the overall resistance at this point is R naught equals to R1 parallel with R2. So we could go with the method of GM and R naught as well, but this is another method which we could use, that is R naught equals to 1 by 2 GM R naught square. Using this formula, which is the simplification of the formula we had studied in class, we get R naught equals to 260 kilo ohms. Nextly, we move to question number 4. That is, due to manufacturing error, a resistance Rp has appeared between a source and ground. This is the Rp, and the value of Rp is 500 ohms. If Q2 is in saturation, the condition for saturation, as you all know, is that VDS2 is greater than the V over drive voltage, and the value of I2 is equals to 1 milliamps. So we have to basically find and we have to ignore the channel width modulation, and we are supposed to find out the V overdrive voltages for this case. And furthermore, we'll also be finding the other parameters engaged in this case. So first of all, ID1 is equals to the reference current which is flowing, and as both are NMOSes, so mu and SOX value is provided, that is 8 milliamps over voltage square. So ID equals to 10 power minus 3, that is 1 milliamp, equals to 1 by 2 into 8 into 10 power minus 3 into V over drive. We have to calculate V over drive as a parameter. So we get V over drive that comes out to be 0.5 volts. Now we apply KVL through the ground to source terminal. Now if you see it from this side, KVL is basically Kirchhoff's voltage law, that is Q2, the voltage across Q2 plus the voltage drop across Q1 and RP. So how do we get that? Is that we see that what is VGS1 for Q2, and then that is basically going to be VGS1 across the MOSFET, and plus the voltage drop across RP should be equal to the voltage drop across MOSFET number Q. So VGS2, that is across MOSFET Q2, equals to voltage drop on the left side, that is VGS1 plus Rp into the current which is flowing through it. The voltage drop is Rp into IRF. So VGS2 is, we subtract the threshold voltage from both sides in order to get the expression into the V over drive case. So we get V over drive for MOSFET number 2 equals to V over drive for 1 plus Rp into IRF. So V over drive 2 equals to V over drive's value is 0.5, which we calculated earlier, in plus 500 into 10 power minus 3, that is Rp equals to 500 ohms into IRF, that is 1 milliamps. So we get a V over drive voltage for MOSFET number 2 comes out to be 1 volt. Now we calculate the value of current for MOSFET number 2, which we are basically supposed to find. The whole purpose of the question was to find I2. So I2 is equals to 1 by 2 mu and SOX W by L V over drive square, and we have the V over drive for MOSFET number 2. We apply it over there. We have W by L, and we, by adding the parameters, we get 4 milliamps. Now there is another condition that Q2 is in saturation. So if Q2 is in saturation, the condition as told earlier is VDS has to be greater than V over drive, and V over drive is 1 volt. So VDS has to be greater, uh, that V over drive is 0.5. So VDS has to be greater than 0.5, and we take the minimum value to be 1 volt. So these are the parameters. We get V over drive to be 1 volt. We get the current for MOSFET to be 4 milliamps, and that is the parameters which we have found. Moving forward to the last question, in which we have a differential gain circuitry, and all the transistors are in a saturation region, and the symmetric mode is being applied. So we draw the equivalent half circuit in the differential mode. So what is the half circuit? Now if we see it over here, so it is a completely symmetric circuit mirroring the path. We could also, I'd like to animate in this case. If we see the half circuit comes out to be at this point. So this is the half circuit, this is the half circuit. So we are supposed to replicate this part on the paper form. So clearing all the drawings. Next, if we see on the paper next ahead, we have drawn the circuit, and we have taken one whole part of the circuitry differential gain amplifier. The part is done. Now the second part is to draw the equivalent circuit in the common mode. So I'd like to draw the circuit for you. The equivalent circuit is basically supposed to be a simplified circuit so that we can easily apply it and understand the circuit. So we've got MOSFET over here, and we've got a MOSFET over here. What we do in this case scenario is we common their sources. Same goes for this one. Now, next what we do is, so we've got MOSFET number Q4, Q3. We've got MOSFET number. The numbering could be anything, but since it's been labeled, so we'll consider this to be 4 dash and this to be 3 dash. And similarly, arrows will be connected over this point like this. So the first part is clear. So what we have done, we have shorted the base voltages. Next, what we do is for V negative and VO plus, I'd like you to all, I'll take you all to the final circuit which we have drawn, and that is like as follows. So this is it. The base voltages has been combined, VB3 and VB2, and at this point we're getting our V out. If you see that V out is being measured at this point. So this is the point which we segregate for measuring our output, and this is basically VO negative and VO positive. This is the point we're taking our output, and we have notified that part over here, V out. We combine that part, and then we move on to the next part of the circuit. So similarly, the circuit is being repeated. As you see that MOSFET Q2 and Q2 dash are both again shorted with the base voltages, and then we have Q2, Q1 and Q1 dash both have a positive and negative voltage supply. So we will be attaching these to a positive negative voltage supply on the circuit, and then we get RE, or the resistance which is RS, and the I bias current which is flowing. So the third part is to derive an expression for the circuit's small signal differential gain. And as you all know, the small signal differential gain has to be judged at the V out point. And if you see at the V out point, we've got two MOSFETs above, the two sets of MOSFETs above and two sets of MOSFETs below, and we will be judging the gain at GM1 since the input voltage is being applied at GM1, and at this point we see that GM1 is to be considered, and then we have got GM3, R03, R01 in parallel with GM5 and R05 and R07. So this is basically the resistance division which we do in the small signal differential gains case, and the expression has been listed down below. So feel free to attempt the other parts as well, the other questions as well. Feel free to come up in the office hours and discuss anything you want to before the midterm or even after that. See thoroughly the lectures being uploaded, and do practice as much as you can. Use multiple books. The book by Razavi has been uploaded. You could also use the book by Cedra Smith. So also feel free to contact me, Isha Atif, or your honorable instructors, Ma'am Bala or Dr. Aves, on the email as well, or in the office hours. So thank you so much. We'll be calling this a day. Stay blessed, guys, and Khuda Hafiz.